Planning is what? Planning is basically a managerial function. Managerial function means the planning is only performed by the level of people who are working as a manager. If the person is not a manager, he cannot do this thing. He cannot plan. So, planning is basically performed by a higher level of authority. This higher level of authority may be top level management or middle level management or the lower level of management, but it cannot be performed by any kind of laborers or any kind of lower level employees. So it is basically a managerial function which represents what? Which represents thinking before doing. It means if you are doing anything, first you have to think about that thing. If you are Even if you are cooking, first you have to think na that what we need to cook today. If you are cooking the same thing again and again on everyday basis, people will not going to like that. So it is very necessary that before cooking also you have to think. In the same way, if you are producing something or if you are going to produce in future something, you have to think very carefully that what are the things you want to produce for that goods or for that product, what type of laborers you are required for that product, what type of machinery you are required for that product, what type of raw material you are required. It means for every aspect of the business you have to think. In the same way, you have to also think about what type of market, in which type of market you can sell your product. So all these things, all these factors you have to think before starting the production process. In the same way, you have to manage the office as well. To manage the office, it is also very important that you have to think that which type of staff, which type of employees, which type of subordinates we need to manage the business. Like what type of staff we need to sell the product, what type of staff or employee we need to buy the raw material, what type of employee or subordinate we need to operate the machinery or to produce goods. So if you are not thinking about all these things, it will end it as a mess. Like if you're not opting proper decisions, if you're not taking proper decisions related to all these points, it may possible that you have purchased the correct raw material but your laborers are not authentic or not suitable for the organization. They will not be able to produce the goods. Hence it is very necessary that before starting the production process you have to think about each and every aspect related to your business. So that is what written here, that a manager should think before doing. Should think what? Should think about every aspect related to the business before starting to perform it. So that is written here also, that it involves all the managerial aspect. It means it is related to all the managerial decisions, all the managerial steps which are going to perform in future, which are required to perform in future. You have to think about all these terms, all these items before starting the production, before starting the actual action. So planning is basically what? Planning is basically thinking before doing. Now we are moving forward and now we are going to discuss about features of management. Features of planning. So the first feature of planning is it is a managerial function. It is a managerial function. It means an employee working in a factory cannot think about what I am going to produce today. They cannot think about what type of raw material I am going to use today. It can only be decided by those people who are having the authority to decide. Like if I am willing to produce a motorcycle and if my company belongs to produce a car, can I be able to produce motorcycle there? If I'm a worker, if I'm working as a worker there, is it possible for me to produce a motorcycle in a factory of car? No. But if the owner wants to produce the motorcycle in a car factory, they can, because it is their factory. So top level management can only decide what to do or what not to do. So that's why planning is only done by top level management or managers who are having the authority to decide. Those people cannot plan who does not have the authority to decide. Second feature of planning is it is an advanced activity, or it is a futuristic activity. What is the meaning of futuristic? Futuristic means whatever, if something you are doing to keeping the mind of future, if you are doing something by keeping future in your mind, those activity are called futuristic activity. Like if I'm going to the market and I'm thinking about upcoming season, upcoming rainy season or upcoming winter season or upcoming summer season, and I'm going to buy product related to that season, that will be called a futuristic activity or futuristic act. So in the same way, planning also does the same. In this, what we are going to do in future, we are planning for that or we are thinking for that. So managerial activity it is, and it is also the futuristic activity where you are thinking about the future, that whatever is required or whatever is necessary for the future, we are going to do that, right? Or in what way we are going to do such futuristic activity. Now, number third point is planning is a continuous activity. Now, imagine you are a factory owner. Imagine you are a producer of some goods and you have planned for this year that yes, I am going to do this, and that in a particular year. It may possible that your plan may or may not work. If your plan is not working, it is necessary to revive your plan because due to the changing environment, everything is changing so fast. And in this fast changing environment, it is very necessary that we should be flexible about our plan. If something is going to change in future, we have to be very much aware of that. And how we can aware of that? So by accepting the environment, we have to change our plan as well. It means you are planning today, you are also planning tomorrow. It means for this year we have planned something, and for the next year it may possible our plan should be changed as per the environmental changes. So by changing environment we are changing our plans. So it is what? It is a continuous activity that as changing environment we have to also change our plans as required for the profit. So planning is what? Planning is a continuous activity. Now point number 4 is planning is a goal oriented process. Planning is what? Planning is goal oriented process. It means at the beginning of the production process, at the beginning of your business, you always decide what you are looking to do, what you are thinking to do, what is your future goal. Like in an year, I want to sell 10 lakh pieces of goods. 10 lakh pieces of goods. I want to sell this quantity of goods in an year. For this, I am preparing the plan. Like I have to purchase, I have to buy a big machinery which will be which will be sufficient to produce 10 lakh pieces. If you are not producing 10 lakh pieces, it is not possible to sell that much quantity. So it is required for you to buy such machinery which will be able to produce 10 lakh pieces in a year. Then only you will be able to sell those quantity. Na? So it is very much necessary that you should plan as per the goal. Whatever is your goal, that is maybe the quantity sale or amount of profit you are thinking to create in an year, whatever goal you have set in your organization, you have to plan accordingly. If your target is to produce 10 lakh pieces, you cannot only depend on the laborers. You have to buy some machinery. You have to buy some machinery to produce goods. It means your production technique cannot be labor oriented. It should be capital oriented to achieve this target. If your target is to enhance the quality of the goods, if your target is to enhance the enhance the detailedness of your product, it is necessary that you should be focused on laborers. for carving things or for designing things, it is very much aware, it is very much obvious that you have to opt labor intensive technique to produce. So first you have to decide what is your goal. If your goal is to sell large quantity of goods, you have to opt a machinery. If your target is not to sell large quantity but to think about the product detail, the product quality, then you will go on the laborers technique or labor intensive technique. So you have to decide it in the earlier stage, na, that you have to do this or you have to do that. For that only you can plan. So planning is what? Planning is a goal oriented process. A producer or an owner should think first what are their goal, and as per the goal they are required to plan. Number last point is planning involves different actions together. Planning involves different actions together. It means what? There are different steps in the planning process. Like you have to prepare policies, you have to prepare strategies, you have to prepare steps. There are other process also you have to follow. You have to prepare methods. You have to follow all these steps to plan. It means plannings have different action or different process involved together. Without performing these different processes, you cannot plan something. So, as a planner, what is necessary? It is necessary to create a policy, to create a strategy, and etc. to create a plan. That is why planning involves different action or process together. Okay, so I hope the term planning and its features is clear now. If you have any doubt related to this topic, please leave a comment. If you like this video, please subscribe to our channel, hit the bell icon for more such videos. Thank you.